Welcome. This is SmokeLong on the Road. I'm Christopher Allen, co-editor of SmokeLong Quarterly. You can find us online at smokelong.com or right now in Fairfax, Virginia at Epicure Cafe, having a great reading featuring SmokeLong contributors and editors. Kara Oakleaf, Randall Brown, Colleen Rich, Tara Campbell, Tyrese L. Coleman, Michelle Orabona, and me, Christopher Allen. So now let's listen in.
So we're doing a flash fiction reading tonight for anybody who just happened to straggle in here. SmokeLong Quarterly is an online flash fiction journal. It publishes stories that are 1,000 words or less. We've been around since 2003. I've been the editor of the journal since 2010. And when did you come on? 2014, Chris has been here, but it feels like a lot more because he saves my life every day.
It's called Cutting the Sky. Joan from HR calls me in to discuss the clouds. The troposphere offices are sleek, all glass and polished silver and pristine as clear skies. Joan's desk is a glass rectangle, and before she comes in, I can imagine the kind of executive who sits here. Someone young, in a suit and those shoes with pin-thin heels that clack on the floor, sounding like they might pierce it. But the woman who walks in is older, flats in a cable knit sweater, and when we shake hands, she places her other hand on top of mine, like she's reassuring me. She has a pale, watery face, and her graying hair is cut short, coils of frizz at her temples. If I were to sculpt her, I would use something.
Middle school and high school teachers often teach students that said is dead, and they hand out worksheets with alternative attributions such as exclaimed or snapped. A few years ago, some MFA writers or editors got a hold of such a sheet, posted it to Facebook, and denigrated it to the chortles of all. I commented that their belief that said constitutes good writing is just as much a construct as was the secondary school teacher's belief that said was boring. I even pointed out uses of crazy attribution in The Great Gatsby and other novels. Unbelievably, on Facebook, I didn't change any minds. Shocking.
The reason you have panic attacks at school is because things move too fast. There are too many people in the hallways, and the bells are too loud. The reason you get confused and have to think for a really long time before you answer a question, any question, is because you are only getting about 3 hours of sleep. The reason you had good grades in chemistry and don't now is because Jay was your lab partner. You were never really good at chemistry. He taught you everything you knew.
Midnight at the Organporium. I only did it for you when I crept into the Organporium at the Southside Mall last night and broke the glass to the hard display and took what I thought you needed. I mean, how could I have known it wasn't the right thing? I'd watched you and listened to you. I'd felt your hands on my shoulders pushing me away, what you called keeping a comfortable distance. I'd observed you from that uncomfortable distance, and I thought I knew exactly what was missing.
Mighty Clouds of Joy played in my Sesame Street cassette player the old folks had stolen for their party. The room, tight with drink and singing, sucked light like my aunt's burgundy-painted lips wrapped around a Virginia Slim. I saw the room through a haze of gray cigarette smoke. A side table lamp lit the room in gold, romantic took my 8-year-old eyes. Uncle Pick and Cousin Babysis squared off in competing stances, arms and mouths wide, voices whiskey warmed, and the dark rectangle that was my aunt's living room turned sanctuary.
Professor, call me David. tells us from the front of the classroom that it is important to differentiate the writer from his writing. The author is not the narrator. This man holding court in front of us with a tattered paperback in one hand, pushing up his glasses with the other, tells us all in response to Garrett's question about The Great Gatsby. But I know that he is lying because I've read The Great Gatsby before, and I've read David's stories too. He is lying because F. Fitzgerald was the drowned millionaire and the Midwestern kid who got away, and he was every word he ever put on a page. Everyone knows this. He was Daisy too, even though Daisy was also Zelda. He was the jazz age that he rose about. He was every party, every flute of champagne.
Today, the targets run in small and smaller. They're locked out, told to snatch some air, move those legs and arms, wage your playground wars, just don't jump that ditch, don't cavort with that crazy kid Kyle from the house in the trees. 2 targets hang terrapine from the pull-up bars. One points at a sliver of Kyle in the broad shadow of a hackberry. The other target says, ignore him and he'll go away, loud, so Kyle can hear. The shadow absorbs him. He draws a hand and shoots twice. Says, pew, pew. This is it, right?
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And we'll be back there a little bit with some book sales. If you guys want to pick up something else, please tip all of the wait staff here. And thank you to the musicians for being patient with us so much. Thank you all. Take care.
Look for SmokeLong June 28th through the 30th in Bristol, England for the UK Flash Fiction Festival.